Welcome to this week's edition of It is Chaile Time. This is a place where we tell it all. We tell the tales of what we experience as we go by our day-to-day business from a labor law and employment relationship perspective. Tsepo, hello, welcome. How are you doing?
I'm good, and you, Toby?
So what's up?
It's Chaile time.
It's Chaile time. I know what you mean. Almost.
Yeah. Ish.
What are we talking about? Oh, how are you doing, man?
I'm good. I've been good. I've been busy. Let me see. I've done a case of unauthorized absenteeism. So this guy, he had a funeral to attend to. He claims that he doesn't have a cell phone. So he was given family responsibility plus extra 2 days to attend the funeral. When he's supposed to return, he said he didn't have a phone to call. But you know what are the aggravating factors in this matter?
Uh-huh.
He actually borrowed money from the company so that he can attend to the funeral.
Yeah?
Guess how he borrowed the money? He called.
Oh, my.
He called. Boss, can you borrow me this amount because I have a funeral to attend to? Boss, I'm not coming this. But on the day he was supposed to phone and say, I won't be able to come to work. I don't have a phone.
Oh, people can lie, eh? But I want to ask you quickly now. I remember a long time ago, in apartheid years, I think it was, maybe even thereafter, there used to be these tiki boxes, these orange domes things, then you can sit inside with the phone inside. Do we get tiki boxes still? Because if you actually don't have a cell phone, how do you phone your boss? I don't see tiki boxes. Do you have tiki boxes?
No, they are not. They don't have. And also Telkom also introduced those ones with the card.
Yes, right.
When you can buy
I haven't seen that for a
a
long
20
time.
rand card and then you insert. And
You don't get that anymore, no?
Not anymore, because we are in a different era now.
Cell phone.
Cell phones.
But what if you don't have a cell phone? How do you phone your boss? Go to your neighbor's house and
Actually,
ask
there's
him
a
for
cell phone that costs 40,000 rand now. iPhone 15.
What does that mean? I must now get one like that.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm saying we are in that era now whereby.
Yeah, like it says no longer 20 cents call. No. Anyway, what are we talking about today?
Bosses and employees. Employees.
Yeah.
But the question is your boss really nice, or is he a good boss or employer, or is the employer naive?
Okay, so obviously something happened. So you're asking,
Yeah,
is the employer now a good employer, or is he just naive?
Just naive.
Okay, so what happened? Why are you asking?
I've done a case of which when I sat there and then read everything, emails and everything, because we sit and then you get presented with paperwork and everything. Mm-hmm. So it was supposed to be a poor performance meeting.
Okay. Was this like a hearing or just a meeting?
Yeah, just a meeting, where
investigation or something.
Investigation, poor performance, and then we can determine whether this person needs some time to improve, how long are you going to give the person, time frame, and those kind of things. But now, when I sat there and everything was presented to me, I'm like, yeah, man, this is a misconduct. A person hasn't done their reconciliation proper since last year, January, 2022, January. So it was established that this company is been overpaying a supplier.
What kind of company? What do they do?
Logistics.
Truck driver? Truck company.
Truck company.
Okay.
So, okay, in my background, you won't know this, but I will just explain briefly. What trucks do, let's say, you're going to Cape Town, it's like 1,600 kilometers from here. Mm-hmm. So halfway through the trip, there'll be a fuel depot, and then a truck can stop there and then hoy or top up the diesel. So there's vouchers. I don't know if it's TNF or TFN, somewhere there. Those vouchers. Now, The driver will stop there and ask for an order number, and then the company will generate an order number, and then they will send the voucher. You see, and they, all those big depots, they charge less, unlike your normal BP or engine.
Normal garages.
Yes, they will charge less.
So you don't pay cash at that time. It's like a voucher system.
It's like a voucher system.
Okay.
But at the end of the month, the company must reconcile
all the vouchers,
and then they must pay
the
supplier. But now, you find out when after the driver hoists diesel, they will send you the receipt. There is a receipt. I've hoisted like 100 liters of diesel, and then this is the amount. But also the invoice will come through.
Okay.
Now, as a person who's capable or whatever position, admin, whatever.
In accounts.
In accounts, yes. Yeah. You must now compare all the driver's receipt versus, this date. This date. On the 17th, you hoisted 100 liters in Ventersberg or somewhere.
Okay.
But now the supplier will send their invoice with an extra 20 cents or 30
extra 20 cents add to the slip.
Yeah, because the driver will send, let's say the liter is 15 rand. But when the statement comes from the supplier, it will be like 15 rand 20 cents, 15 rand. At some point, the employer stated that they were overcharged with 50,000 rand in a month.
In a month?
In a month. Because they have a lot of trucks and then they stop in so many places. So this person's responsibility is to reconcile them. But if she doesn't scrutinize and see those things, what's the purpose of her sitting there? That is why now I'm like, this is a misconduct. But the employer says, no, let's look at performance. Maybe she can improve. And there's a lot also. She's always on her phone. The colleagues are complaining. Okay, she's going through a hard time in her personal life. She was on leave, maternity leave. She just had a child recently. And when she was on leave, someone who was in that department did everything accurately.
That's probably where it came out.
That's where it came out.
That's where it came out. Suddenly paying 50,000 and less.
Yes. And then when they visit all the files, actually they have to revisit files from January 2022.
Yeah, it's like almost 2 years of...
And now she still has the current job to do. Now, when is she going to do that? I'm sitting there now.
So she must now go do research and reconcile everything again for the last 2 years.
But now she committed that she will do it at night, at home. She's a mother of 3.
Okay.
She must take care of the small child. I know, having a small child is not pop and place. At night, anytime, randomly, you have to look after the child. I don't know how she's going to do it. Our agreement is that we're going to give her this week, and then Monday she's going to give us feedback on how many files she could do in a week or something.
Okay, but hold on. So the employer don't want to fire her?
The employer was furious, but he doesn't want to fire her. Then I'm sitting there, I'm like, this is a misconduct. Because I've done a similar case as this one, whereby an HR manager was...
Who were paying was 50,000 rand. Oh, anyway, HR manager?
HR manager... took advantage. I think she took advantage of the employer.
Okay.
The reason I'm saying this is because she was appointed because the husband is doing business with the company. And instead of the company going and search for someone, it's like, let's appoint you since they are working in the same building. The husband works there, and then the husband is a head of supplying security services for the business. And let's take your wife and she must come in. She was in the beach somewhere sitting, because most of the time she's on the other side, she's not here. Files are not up to date. Employees doesn't have contracts. It's a lot. It's a lot. Like that hearing took me 7 days. I still have a headache even today. So I took 2 cases and put it in the same scale, and then I saw one thing: misconduct. But this one, no, it's performance. She can improve. I'm not saying I can judge now, but I don't think she's going to meet those deadlines, looking at how her life is structured.
But Tsepo now, so obviously the second one dismissed the employee.
Yes.
Okay. No trust.
No trust.
So where do we get with good employer and naive employer?
I think this
one now, obviously now, they don't want to dismiss her.
They don't want to dismiss her.
Is this now a good employer?
No, I think it's a naive employer.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
when I'm wearing my labor law hat,
Yeah.
I think this is an naive employer.
Because, I mean, it depends on the seat you're sitting. From the employee perspective, this is probably a great employer.
Yes.
But from the shareholder perspective, this is a naive employer. But you see, Tsepo, this is the thing again now. And we have spoken about this many times. About how fragile the trust relationship is. And I wonder sometimes, how do we determine that the trust relationship is tarnished? Because if you look at how this evolved through the courts, no? You get the Code of Good Practice in the Labor Relations Act that sort of states that, it prefers a system of progressive discipline, but for misconduct like assault or gross negligence, gross dishonesty, a dismissal on the first instance is sort of justified.
Yes.
Okay. If we also look at how Edcon versus Spilmer evolved, initially, an employer need to lead evidence why the trust relationship is tarnished.
Yeah.
Now it's sort of certain misconducts that a tarnished trust relationship is implied, like dishonesty. If you're dismissed for gross dishonesty, you don't necessarily need to lead evidence that the trust is tarnished. There are other concepts too, also like prejudice to the employer or anticipated prejudice, like for instance, if you're a truck driver, if you are speeding or playing on your phone, the fact that you didn't cause an accident didn't mean you couldn't have caused an accident. So in circumstances like that, a tarnished trust relationship is implied, and also damages to the employer. But these are the legal tick boxes. But now in your case, you'll get one employer that will apply the tick boxes, and another employer that won't do that. So how do we still determine whether trust is tarnished? I spoke some time back about this employee, this director I'm helping against a CEO, That's one thing at the CCMA. They look at facts and tick boxes. In a way, the law is cold. But we as humans, there's politics between us.
Yeah, but I think it's a really thin line between being a good employer and being naive. We had a conversation sometime, and then you said, maybe the person is a good employee on other aspects.
Yeah.
On other aspects.
But before we get to that, the point I was trying to make is that you get a CEO in a company and you get a subordinate. There's never an issue. But now because you divorced your wife, who's my sister, now suddenly I'll give you instructions onto doing certain things, which is unreasonable, I suppose. And it's never been done before. Now you don't do some of those things. You get fired. You go to the CCMA. The commission only cares about, was there a rule? Was the instruction given? Did you break a rule? You're a senior director, high level of trust vested in you. Sorry, dismissal justified. They don't care about the politics and me now trying to put you in a box in a corner and all those kind of things, So to come back to what you just said now, it once again comes down to a relationship. If you look at this person now, maybe this person committed this gross negligence, overpaying by 50,000 Rand a month. Why will the employer not want to dismiss it? Because maybe there's other things she's doing well in and she's got a good relationship with this person. So it's just interesting. I don't think we have a conclusive answer.
Yeah, no, we don't have a conclusive answer because
trust is so subjective. It's like a feeling almost.
I was also confused sitting there because, it's a boardroom and I'm sitting on the main chair and the parties are sitting right. And the employer sitting facing me. You could see the frustration in his face. You could see, and then when he said, he also asked other employees on the admin division to assist on scrutinizing on those files from previous months. They refused. Because they say this one, she's always on the phone watching something during working hours. You could see the frustration, but no, it's not a misconduct. It's a performance thing. We must look at it.
And we can improve the performance. It's like a way of getting around. I don't know. So employers don't always make sense.
I sat there for those 2 hours or 1.5 hours.
Listen, Tsepo, I sat yesterday. Yesterday, you and I were at the same CCMA, same time, with different of our clients there. And there's one client I was representing. They're a labor broker, okay? But that's a curse word in the company. The owners don't want to accept they are, but they are, okay?
They're a service provider.
They're a service provider, but nonsense, they're not. That's what they tell themselves when they go to bed at night. But anyway, so now what they do is a client will give you like a 3-month contract or so, which is fine, but then they will employ staff on a 12-month contract. Because their view is that they won't be able to attract the necessary skill if you just give a 3-month contract. But now the question is, what happened after the 3 months?
Hey, you remind me of something.
How do you get rid of this person now? You see, so what they now do is they enter into MSAs, but as you know, a mutual separation agreement, you must have an ex gratia payment. And they sort of, I don't know how they're getting away with this, but somehow they're also playing on the ignorance of the employees. So yesterday, now they've got an employee. It wasn't about this case, but it was just something we were talking about. Yeah. This employee, her salary is 150,000 Rand a month. She's got a whole year left on her contract. But within the first month, the client cancelled that position. But they gave this person a 12-month contract, 150,000 Rand a month. You know, I explained to them we can do operational requirements for financial reasons, which is fine, but no, it just slipped. They don't want to go through the process. They're going to offer an MSA. I said, okay, not a problem. Let's do an MSA, but ex gratia payment. You know, now I sit with the HR manager. The employer is just like, no ex gratia payment. Eventually, the HR manager spoke to her, can't we just offer 1 day of extra payment? No, it's too much money. Oh, look, it's 7,000 Rand. No, it's too much money. So I'm like, there's no reason with some employers. It's absent, eh?
Yeah, no, it is absent. It is really absent.
It's just weird, but anyway, so good employer, or is it a naive employer? Everybody's circumstances are different. Yeah. But I suppose, you know, on one hand you look at the relationship, other hand you look at the sustainability of the business itself.
And again,
and life is challenging, you know.
Yeah, again, I think it's also a matter of we have to deal with every case as it comes in its own merits.
Its own merits.
So I don't have to overthink.
Yeah.
I can't help it sitting there, seeing that this person is super relaxed. There is no room for improvement on this person. You can see even how she, when you give her an opportunity to speak, it's like, and there's more because she doesn't create loads, numbers, and then it gets confused. And apparently, the company has this incentive whereby the driver meets a certain number of loads, they get incentive. But if they don't get load numbers, whereby she's supposed to create, which means it's also affecting the driver. You see now, there's a lot.
Now, why they didn't dismiss?
But that reconciliation was the number one on the list. This was what was frustrating the employer. But as frustrated as he was, he's still opening his doors.
So
I'm not saying employers must be evil, like our comrade always says, our comrades from the unions, they always say, employers are cruel. Employers are cruel, of which that's not the fact. But I guess every case you deal with it in its own merits, and then you look at it in its own way, and then there's no answer to that.
So employers, when you think you are being a good employer, you can actually be very naive.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's for this week. Thank you, Tsepo. Thanks you for watching, and like and subscribe. Oh, not like this, like this, like this, like that. You must subscribe there. So see you next week. I think our last episode will be the Monday around the 15th of December, and then we will be taking a bit of a break till early January again.
I love that sound, break, which means holiday.
Our offices don't close, we are open, and so there will be breaks, but we will rotate obviously. But anyway, see you next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.